going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is a review for WWE SmackDown Live for November 6th, 2018. And I gotta say that coming off the heels of Raw, this was a better show. And I actually think that I might have been a little bit too generous with Raw. I gave it a 5 out of 10, and I really don't know that it was deserving of even that much. Going back and thinking about some of the spots they had, I probably would have dropped that score considerably. But to get to SmackDown, you start the show out with Paige, of course, because they're in England. And she brings out Shane McMahon, and they start talking about the Survivor Series. And they immediately name the captain of this team. So Daniel Bryan comes out as a captain. Of course, The Miz is going to interrupt, saying that, you know, I have done this, this, and this. I won 2 matches at the World Cup. Technically, 2/3 of the trophy Shane McMahon has is mine. Shane says, you make a valid point. You're captain, and so is Daniel Bryan. So we have co-captains for the SmackDown team for Survivor Series. And then you get a backstage bit where it's The Miz, Daniel Bryan, and Shane McMahon, where they're talking about who they want for the team. And Miz says immediately, I want you, Shane. And then Daniel Bryan says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree. Shane, you're a good pick. You showed how much you care about the SmackDown brand at Crown Jewel, blah, blah, blah. So Shane accepts, and there you go. And then you get your first match of the night, which is Big E Langston and Kofi Kingston of the New Day. They take on the Usos, and this is for the Tag Survivor Series team. And this is the match that's going to determine the captains, and it's a really good match, honestly. The Usos and the New Day, anytime they get in the ring, I think it's a really good match most of the time. And, you know, sometimes you see the same matches over and it kind of wears on you. But these guys are just really good, so I don't really get tired of it. And I think it was kind of a surprise to me that, you know, the Usos got the real quick ending win. Like, New Day was beating them, and then, of course, they switch it around really quick. Usos get the surprise win. And it was really kind of cool because the Usos make this promo right after the match where they say, real recognizes real. We've been to war so much, and the first team that the Usos want for SmackDown is the New Day. So that was cool. I did like that. You get a Miz Daniel Bryan promo. They're trying to figure out how they're going to get their whole Survivor Series team set up, considering they have odds and different opinions about who they want. And so Miz is saying, you know, if Rey Mysterio, you know, depending on how he does against Andrade Cien Almas, who has a match later, you know, if he wins, then Miz will let him in the Survivor Series team. And then you get kind of a recap of what Ronda Rousey said on Raw about Becky Lynch, and now this is Becky Lynch's retort, which is essentially, you know, I've had to take jobs in my life that I didn't necessarily want to get where I needed to be. And now here I am, literally the champion and probably the most over superstar in the company, which is true. And, you know, how she had to scratch and claw her way to get there. And that's why, you know, she's not like Ronda Rousey, you know. She's not the person who's been bred. She had to do this all from, you know, a lot of grinding and hard work. And so it was actually a pretty damn good promo. I liked it. And then at the end, Becky Lynch says, you know what, I'm fired up, I'm ready for a fight. And so, kind of a nice surprise, you hear Sanity's music, and then here comes Nikki Cross, up from NXT to SmackDown, part of Sanity. Good match. Nikki Cross started out on fire. She got a lot of energy, that girl. And the only thing I didn't like is they bring in Nikki Cross and they immediately have her tap out to Becky Lynch. I wouldn't have started that. There's plenty of other women on the roster that you could have made Becky Lynch look strong on other than Nikki Cross. Why bring her on her debut to make her tap out? I didn't like that. Other than that, it was kind of cool, though. You get Ms. Daniel Bryan part 2 or 3 here. And they're trying to figure out how to do this. And so Daniel Bryan suggests that they each pick a partner, or they each pick a person, and then those 2 people have a match, and whoever wins is the last remaining person for the Survivor Series team. And Miz agrees, and they have this kind of cool part where there's like camaraderie and they're smiling, and then Miz is like, this is weird, and it was actually really funny. So yeah, it was kind of cool. I liked that promo bit, and it's a good idea to set up the Survivor Series team. Then you get a Shinsuke Nakamura iPhone promo talking about all the problems Seth Rollins is having, and he's going to have one more problem come Survivor Series because he faces Shinsuke. Not much there. Then you get Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas. Very good match. I really liked it. I've always said Andrade is really, really good, and Rey Mysterio is really showing that he's holding his own. So, decent match, a nice, good exchange back and forth. Rey Mysterio gets the win, and Randy Orton attacks Rey Mysterio after the match. You know, doing his typical Randy Orton bit. Just drops the RKO and leaves. Last Daniel Bryan Miz promo, where, you know, they're talking about the match that just happened, and so Rey Mysterio's on the Survivor Series team. Then you get a Paige announcement, and she's talking about the women's Survivor Series team, which is Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't come out, though. All the other girls do. Charlotte's music hits. And instead, Mandy Rose comes out. Mandy Rose has a decent promo where she's just knocking every single woman on the team. And ends with Naomi and starts talking about Naomi's husband. Naomi hits Mandy Rose. The fight ensues. Girls are pulling the Mandy Rose and Naomi apart. And Sonya Deville grabs Mandy Rose and pulls her away, and then those two have a nice stare down. So they're definitely building the friction there between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. That split definitely looks like it's happening now. And then you get Jeff Hardy versus Samoa Joe as the last match. Pretty decent match. Samoa Joe, he's a workhorse, of course. And I like Jeff Hardy, but like I said, you know, it just... You can tell when he's in the matches that his body's just racked sometimes, and that he feels everything that he's doing. And sometimes it makes it evident. But either way, Joe gets the win. Jeff Hardy had Joe down. He's going for the swanton. Joe gets the knees up. And so Jeff Hardy hits a swanton onto Joe's knees, straight into the clutch. Joe gets the tap out. And then Joe gets in Daniel Bryan's face, who was on commentary with The Miz and the other commentators. And Daniel Bryan lets loose on Joe. Miz jumps in the ring and tries to pull Daniel Bryan off of Joe. Daniel Bryan then goes to hitting The Miz. And then Shane McMahon tries to grab Daniel Bryan from behind. He runs down from the rampway, and Daniel Bryan gives him a nice little hip toss without knowing who it was, and then he just leaves. He just walks up the ramp. So that's where they ended the show, and nice bit of friction for the SmackDown team. And I gotta say that, like, again, this show was just better. Everything really pointed towards Survivor Series now. Like, literally beginning to end, everything was about Survivor Series, which was very, very cool. You had the Nikki Cross debut, which I really didn't like because they made her tap out, but it was a cool moment up until that point. The beginning was cool. The New Day Usos match was really good. Rey Mysterio Andrade was good. Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, decent. And they finished with, you know, some friction there. So, overall, much better than Raw. And like I said, Raw, I think I was too generous with. Sometimes I just get in those moods where, you know. And it's funny because usually I'm overly critical with them, but. So, with this one, I think I have to give it like a 7 out of 10. I think it was a solid show. I really do. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm at with it. 7 out of 10. They had some definitely good spots all the way around in this show. So, and Miz, he does have personality and he can be funny, and that comes across, which is very, very good. So that's where I'm at. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation, out.